I got my hands on the Poco F8 Ultra and it kind of blew my mind. It's got cool customization, an awesome camera, insane performance, a giant battery, and a lot more features that make it feel just as good, maybe even a bit better than the Samsung S25 Ultra. Like, check this out. Okay, so the Poco F8 Ultra comes with a few super cool tricks up its sleeve, starting with its speakers. These are quite possibly the best speakers I've ever heard on any phone, and that's because on the back you'll find this, which is an actual subwoofer. So to get the most out of it, you just go into settings, then under sound and vibration, then go to sound effects and make sure this is set to dynamic. Then just open up your music app, play your favorite song, and pump up the volume. Whoa, this speaker is definitely better than the S25 Ultras. And if you're into your music like I am, then this is gonna do it for you. Okay, then another really cool feature on this phone is just how fast it charges, because it can use a 100-watt charging brick, meaning it can go from 0 to 100% in just 38 minutes, which is nuts considering it takes the S25 Ultra over an hour. Plus, it's got a pretty big 6,500 milliamp hour battery, so this puppy should last you about 2 days, no problem. And for its third super feature, inside the security app that comes pre-installed on the phone, you'll find something called Game Turbo. Now, at first, it might not seem like anything special. It's basically where you'll just find all your games. But the trick here is when you start a game, like Genshin Impact, for example, and you swipe on the top left-hand corner, boom, you bring up the Game Turbo settings. And in here is where you can turn on this wild boost option. Then under performance settings, make sure you tap on enhanced visuals, turn on super resolution, smart frame rate, and under visual style, set this to game HDR. Now, this will essentially use the full power of the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 chip, along with Poco's Vision Boost D8 chip to give you the best gaming performance. And it shows, because games can jump to 120 frames per second, you get sharper 1.5K visuals and way better HDR. Even big titles like Call of Duty Mobile and Genshin Impact stay super smooth for literal hours of gameplay with zero dips. I mean, the S25 Ultra's Gen 4 chip isn't even as fast as the new one in this Poco. So that's how you can boost gaming, but there's actually something even better. So if you watch a lot of videos on YouTube or even movies and shows on Netflix, then you gotta turn this on. So back inside settings, if you go into display and brightness, here is where you'll find something called dual core visuals. Turn this on because basically this will keep your video resolution and frame rate stable while you're watching, which is really cool. Another feature you gotta turn on is inside your battery settings. And by the way, out the box, this is set to balanced, but here you have the option to turn on performance mode. And if you take a closer look, you'll notice at first it actually gives you less hours of battery life. But that's because instead of using some of the power from the 8 Elite Gen 5 chip, it uses all the power no matter what you're doing. So if you do a lot of editing, maybe you have a bunch of apps open, or even if you're playing a game while watching a movie or video, the Poco F8 Ultra should never freeze or lag. Like, ever. So in terms of raw power, this phone is a beast. But what about customization? Okay, now the great thing about this phone is it comes in two different colors. You get denim blue and black. It also looks really premium, and I'll be honest with you guys, it feels as good as the S25 Ultra. And to make it feel even more premium, it's got a bunch of fun customization features. So inside settings, if you scroll down to personalization, if you scroll to the bottom of that, you'll notice AI dynamic wallpapers. What you do is tap that plus icon, then choose any image you'd like from your gallery, click generate, and bam, it turns that picture into a live wallpaper that moves. It does such a great job, and it also looks super real. Plus, as I mentioned, you can do this with pretty much any image you'd like. It is subtle on some pics, but that's what makes it look so good. Okay, so once you got a wallpaper, if you go back, there's also fingerprint effects. Turn this on because, as you can see, there are a bunch of different effects you can choose from, and each have a slightly different effect that just looks so cool. And crazy enough, again, this isn't even something the S25 Ultra can do. Okay, then back inside personalization, there's also always on notification effects. There's only a few options to choose from here, but once you've selected one, as soon as you get a notification, hello, you get this cool effect that plays. Then back inside your main settings, inside the notification and status bar settings, you've also got the option to change the battery icon. As you can see, there's 3 different options to choose from, and they all look great. Then something I've never seen before, if you open the app drawer and go to settings, right over here, you'll see group icons by color. Once you turn that on, if you go back to the app drawer, you'll see you get a bunch of different colored dots, and if you tap on each one, all your apps have been grouped by their specific color. Wow. So customization is great, but you can do some other really fun things with gestures too. So there are a few secret gestures you can do on this phone, and the most useful one is definitely the 3-finger swipe. If you do this, it'll quickly take a screenshot of whatever's on your screen, which is really useful. But another gesture is to just tap and hold 3 fingers, which will activate this box, and you can then just tap and drag anywhere on your screen to select exactly what you want to screenshot. Then you have all these different options to either share or save it. Nice. Another quick gesture is this one to quickly turn on the torch. And how it works is you just double press the side button. Pretty easy, but you do have to turn this on inside additional settings, then head into gesture shortcuts, and it's right over here, turn on torch. And now you know. Okay, but back inside additional settings, you'll also find a BACKTAP. You'll see there's the option for a double tap or triple tap, and each of them have a couple different things you can choose from, like launching the camera. So if you do a double tap, it'll start at the camera and you can snap a pic. Or for me, if I do a triple tap, it opens the control center. Easy peasy. But speaking of the cameras, you gotta check this out. Okay, so this F8 Ultra comes with a premium camera setup. And to show you how good it is, I'm actually going to compare it to the S25 Ultra. But the first thing we gotta do is open the camera app, tap on this down arrow icon, and change from 12.5 megapixels to 50. Now, straight off the bat, with the regular one-time zoom, you'll notice that because it's 50 megapixels, it's actually really detailed and crisp. And as you can see, compared to the S25 Ultra, it's actually surprisingly good. Same with the 5-time zoom, which is also 50 megapixels. It's almost identical to the S25 Ultra zoom photos, and if you wanted to, you can pinch in even more, all the way up to 20-time zoom. As for its ultra-wide, this one also packs a punch with 50 megapixels too, plus you can also take macro photos with it, which is kind of a premium flagship feature, so it's nice to see. And from all these options or buttons, there's 2 things to know about on the camera. And the first is this one, which is called Dynamic Shots. Once that's on, if you snap a pic, then open it up in the gallery, you'll notice this little play icon in the top right-hand corner, and if you tap it, you'll see it actually captured a quick short video when snapping that pic. As for the second button, you should know, this one turns on filters. There's a bunch of different ones you can play around with, but I really recommend you try these 2 out, called Film, because they pretty much make all your photos look so good, and also as if they were taken on actual film cameras. Later, I'll show you some advanced features you can do with your photos, but first, we gotta talk about this Hyper Island. Now, this might look like a regular old selfie camera, but it can do something kind of cool. So if you go and open up something like Spotify and play a song, then swipe to go home, check it out, Spotify will minimize into this new Hyper Island. This works with a bunch of different apps like the timer, the voice recording application, when you plug your phone into charge, nice, turning on the torch, and even when you receive files. But to actually control the Hyper Island, all you do is swipe to switch between the different apps, and left or right, either direction works. And if you keep on swiping, you'll eventually hide it. If you want to see it again, just swipe again to make it reappear. You can also tap on each app to open its Hyper Island controls to directly control it from here, like skipping forward or pausing your music. Now that you know all about the Hyper Island, here's something else you gotta know that's really hidden. Okay, now there are a few hidden features you guys need to know about, and the first one is inside additional settings. Under floating windows, called Side Toolbox. And in here, make sure you toggle on Video Toolbox. This is actually off by default. Now, check it out. Anytime you're watching a video and you swipe from the corner, this hidden menu pops up. And in here, you can switch on a bunch of different settings, like making a screen recording, taking a screenshot, or even AI subtitles. Plus, there's some other extra settings like Dolby Atmos and those dual-core visuals I showed you earlier. But what is even more hidden is back inside additional settings, you'll see this option for second space. How it works is super simple. You set up a password for your first space, then a different password for your second space. It'll then switch to this new second space that's basically a brand new blank phone. So you can install apps in here, you can hide secret data like files, photos, videos. It's literally like having a secret second phone. And to switch back to your first space, you just tap on this switch app, punch in your password, or use your fingerprint, and boom! All that secret stuff and data will disappear like it was never even there. Super hidden. And for another really hidden feature, this one's actually an app on your laptop. All you do on your computer's app store is search for the Xiaomi Interconnectivity app, then download it, sign into your Xiaomi account. Using the Poco F8 Ultra, scan the QR code, and now if you tap the share icon on any file or photo, then tap Xiaomi Share, you can choose your computer and it'll instantly share. Of course, you can also send from your computer to your phone. So those were a couple hidden features, but now here are a few advanced features. Now, advanced features are definitely one of those things that make a phone feel premium. And for the first feature, this one is found when you open up a photo, tap on the edit icon, then select this create option, and in here, you'll see this option erase. There's so many different ways of using it, but one of them is removing people or even yourself from the image. So once you tap remove people, it automatically selects them, then just tap on start, and in a couple of seconds, voila, everyone's gone. As you can see, it does just as good a job as the S25 Ultra, and even if you zoom in comparing them side by side, the F8 Ultra shapes up really well. But besides for erasing, another awesome advanced feature is expand. So with this, you just drag the slider to resize your photo, tap on start, and like magic, it literally fills out the blank space around your photo. You gotta admit, that's really impressive. I mean, not even the S25 Ultra can do this. Another really cool advanced feature is actually inside your keyboard. If you just type out a message, then select that entire message, you'll notice this little pencil icon. Once you tap it, it opens up this rewriter where there's a bunch of different options like summary or proofreading, or it can rewrite your message into any one of these, like to sound a bit more friendly, for example. And I was actually really impressed by it. Or if you have an idea of a message, you can just tell it what you want to write, and it'll do it all for you, which again is something only a premium phone can do, like the S25 Ultra. So if you think about it, with all these features, the Poco F8 Ultra feels just as good as the S25 Ultra, but without the premium price tag. If you want to see more videos like this, then hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Toodles!